It's quite easy introduction because I'm working since 35 years for Epson. Started 35 years in the support for scanners, and we have a nice article about artificial intelligence and the use of that in the image world. And we started at that time to develop something on neural networks to recognize text with limited success at that time. So the reason why I explain later. So the first thing is what a few thoughts about how we as human or mankind communicating information. And this is somehow linked also with printing, because a lot of these information are printed today or were printed in the past. For 65,000 years, we have some kind of cave drawings as maybe first known kind of communication. It's not printing, it's drawing, yes, but it's somehow at that time, for me, very similar. For 5,000 years, or a little bit before that, we defined text, and we have the front stone tables where we put text in, so it's very early printing. In Europe, in year 1100 after, we have found paper. I think that's one of the tipping point together with the possibility to mechanical print thing with Gutenberg. And that is also some kind of development speed. And this is something which is my complete list. You can see how the difference in time getting smaller and smaller in the developments and in the next steps. So some kind of exponential development. And yeah, analog in the printing industry, 1810, digital printing, 1938. Then from my point of view, digital computer displays, 1976. And then with the iPhone, 2007, we get the smaller ones we're using today mainly for our information we can read. So from that point, I thought, what can be the next step? We have print, we have this display. What is the next step? Will be the next step some kind of glasses or something like that? We're wearing, maybe it's an intermediate step. For me, the next step is that we have an interface directly into our brain. So we doesn't need any device. And if you look at the time difference from step to step development, why this not happens in 25 years after the smartphone was launched, so 2032. So that's quite soon. Maybe I'm a little bit too optimistic on that, and maybe it doesn't happen in that speed. But if you look into the speed of development and the increasing speed of development, I think that is a reasonable possibility. All this information are really linked to transporting information, education, and a lot of things in the past of that was printed. It was a big part of the printing industry. And the question is now, what will be printed in the future? Because we have less printing due to displaying, and how much less printing we will have if we get maybe direct neural connection to some kind of computer or AIs. That is some kind of question I want to answer. But before I do this, I have looked into what the BVDM for Germany, Bundesverband Druck und Medien, published for data for the printing industry. And I compared 2022 with 2012, so 10 years after. And there is one good and one bad note, bad information. The bad information is, yes, printing decreased very much into catalog and advertisement printing. Yes, it's decreased in printing for companies. Yes, it's decreased in magazines and newspapers. Yes, it's decreased in advertisements. Yeah, and decreased in books and cards and maps. And yes, and we found also something what is increased. And somehow we as Epson are dealing in that world, and that is around what they call so everything else what is printed. And this is, of course, labels, which is part for me from the packaging industry. And also some kinds of calendars and cards are more printed. And let me see what they combine under other printing things like textile and other things. So that is something where I will focus on later. Yes, so in total, minus 12%. And the good point is I'm expected before I've made the comparison that the value is, the difference will be higher as minus 12%, maybe minus 25%. So I was surprised how stable it was, even if we have this fast development. So in total, overall with the service it's minus 14% in that 10 years. So BVDM, thank you very much for all this kind of information. You can find the reports online of them. They are public available without to log in. So what we will print in the future? The general trend we can see, also with our printing, especially in the large format market, is personalization. And that goes together with shorter runs of prints. Because a short run of print in the past, we have a lot of print runs which is a high volume. So you need very high speed machineries. Today, short print production going down to maybe the production number of one unit, one photo book, one print, one unit, one cup, and so on. And what we can see also is the growth of online initiated prints. I will name it in that way. Initiated, something why you're using online data and you're using for printing, maybe online stores to place your print shops. So this kind of process is ongoing, and this is really a strong growth, and every message we can get from our customers is that that market is growing. And what we get also from our customers is, and also which is part of the DNA of Epson, is sustainability getting much more important. If you want to provide print service to a large customer in Germany, or maybe somewhere else in the world, they will ask you for how sustainable you can produce the products, because that must be part of their sustainability strategy too. So you cannot source anything everywhere, so you have to really to care about that, and this is of course something which is very important for us. So what is left for printing? Yeah, one thing from my point of view is art. And we have a very good example over here on the right side from Ralph Baumgarten. And a very nice story about that, because the photos are quite new and need to be taken by a camera without a battery. So they're analog photography. Because he was not able to take a camera with battery, he's not allowed to take them underground for kind of danger of explosion. So he has to take it analog. Then these images are scanned and finally they are printed digital. But each of these images only one time, and we can see a lot of other artwork which is printed. And this, I believe, will survive. Because there is feeling, there's emotion, there is a lot of different how to do it, and this will be part of the future of digital printing or large format printing. And then, of course, the packaging market, because packaging is also something you cannot substitute electronically. You need a package. Some for transportation. Of course, we need to take care how we can this sustainable in a good way. And then print for product production. That's a little bit what I will name direct to shape. So if you can print on a product directly, which is a final product. On our booth, we have some samples where you can print directly on a helmet. So without something. So that's part of the product production. So that is something also which will survive. And a very big part is textiles. Because a lot of textiles are produced today Far East, or Near East, but not in Central Europe. And also there we can see a lot of trends for personalization. And especially in the first part of this evening presentation on the artificial development of images, we have the part for the kids where the developed images are printed on textile for kids, on garments for kids. So that will be also one of the large developments worldwide. And why it's so important? Because simply the textile market is unbelievably large. Of course, signage is one of the things we will see. Large signage, large format signage, sometimes much more efficient than any display because it doesn't need any energy for the signage. And also very big part, and maybe underestimated part, is the small-scale home manufacturing, I will name it. And my example, therefore, is the web page Etsy, where you can buy only maybe a product that is produced once. And it's very special. And also one of Adrian's messages, what is the next big thing? 3D printing, of course. But that is a different story, not my story of today. Looking quickly into the textile market and the size, and there I used some data from Euratex, the European textile research, or let me see, community, and based on Eurostat data. So in 2022, the total textile market in Europe, in EU 27, was 170 billion euro. So that is a huge market with 4.5 billion euros of investment, 197,000 companies, a lot of things. Also exports, 64 billion euro of export, but a lot of imports too, as you can see, and 1.3 million employees. So that is really only EU 27. So that shows how much potential is in that market if the development of personalization and digital printing will develop for that market. Two figures in addition to that. I found on the Smithers one statement on one of their last researchers, and they're telling us more or less they're expecting in the next years 8.3% year-by-year growth on textile printing worldwide. And one of McKinsey & Company, where they asked textile companies how they want to shoring their products, and 71 of these companies telling us they want to develop nearshoring, so production closer to the customer as it was in the past. So that is also one big statement for the textile market. And I have a third data, which I believe is very, from my point, very interesting. Also Euratex again. And they're telling us in the first line that what will be purchased online today, it's more or less clothes and shoes. 40% of that is bought online. So it's the largest online market, obviously, from their point of view. But why is online so important? Because online means very often you need to react in a very short time, so maybe deliver at the same day. That is getting a little bit less, was a hype maybe a few years ago, but delivery next day, I believe, is still one of the standards if you have a special account at one of the largest online shops. So speed of delivery is important, and let me see, also if you want to realize that speed and maybe only personalized data, personalized prints, you need to produce them on demand at that moment if the order get in the store. So short-term production, low run, and online ordering. That is all give digital printing a lot of potential. So what we're showing on our booth, to what really supporting all the messages is, yes, we have a new printer showing there for fine art and photo printing. So it's one of the things we highlighting here. Yes, we have a lot of new products for personalized printing. And from our point of view, that is a very, very, very important market. So this is a DT film printer A4 and the A4 UV flatbed. The UV is missing. UV flatbed printer and smaller sublimation printers. So these printers, the new ones are more or less on the way to market and are very soon available. If you want to get more information about these products, our booth is only 20 meters from here in Hall 5. So very important products and will be really changed the market of personalized production. And on the other side, on textile, as I mentioned, we have new products for high volume productions. And this is one on the sublimation side. Now, for example, larger production with jumbo roll support on sublimation side. And very important, a textile printer, because it's one of the difficulties if you want to print on cotton, where the inline pre- and post-treatment is integrated in the printer, which makes especially the printing on cotton-based textiles very easy. And of course, we have a lot of printers in the signage market, but to show that we also committed to that market, we have 2 new concepts of printer on our booth for the sublimation and for the signage printing. And last but not least, we are also active in the industry label market, and also to support this growth and the ideas that we need packaging in the future too. We have also new concept of a label printer based on aqueous-based inks, what everybody is requesting on our booth. One click more. Yeah, then I have also the same issue, the unknown influence of AI, or unpredictable influence of AI. As we have seen what we can do today with artificial intelligence, what I have learned about that is, in the last 30 years, the power of AI is increased by the factor of 1 million. And the researchers telling us it increases the power in 5 years by the factor of 10. So if you take the status of today and what we have seen before, in 5 years, AI will 10 times as powerful. In 5 years, in 10 years, 100 times as powerful as today. In 15 years, and I believe hopefully everybody will be here, in 15 years, it was 1,000 times as powerful as of today. And if you think a little bit more further, in 30 years, it's 1 million times powerful as of today. I don't have the really feeling what that will make with us or will give us for possibilities. Summary, yeah, everything that can be substituted electronically will be substituted electronically. So everything what is not need to be printed will not be printed. I think that is from 2 points important, because we need less prints for this information transportation, and hopefully this will help us to save energy, will help because electronic information, electronic warehouses, we have to ask Google how much energy they need to drive their servers. Different other question. Digital printing related to products or final products, as I mentioned, direct on shape, for example, of a helmet or something like that, getting more important. The e-commerce with the related demand will grow further. Online, on-demand production, short-run production, production close to the customer. And this is linked with the short-run production will increase by that demand. And personalization of low-scale home production will be also one of the growing markets, maybe the most underestimated part of it. Packaging will be very important, and today we're not really using packaging as we can do with digital. As until today, more or less, we try to replace analog printing with digital printing. But digital printing for packaging means each packet can be different. So maybe a package can get a collector's item. Only think about these possibilities in special markets. And as a textile printing, if you look into a lot of different kind of researchers, will grow year by year by 10% in the next years. Yeah, in general, sustainability products and production will getting more important. Yes, and we need to work on a win-win-win solution so that The customer have something from goods we are producing. The environment is positive, can win. That the society can win, and maybe that the vendor who produces something can also win. So that everybody can win. I'm not a specialist on that philosophical part. Maybe the Japanese colleagues can explain that a little bit better than me, because it's coming a little bit of the Japanese culture. They have 3 wins. I put 4 wins, so sorry. That is very important. And of course, very little bit yellow in the back. The last point is the future of AI. It's a very, very, very interesting point, which have a huge impact of all industry and everywhere. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.